Cold mornings can be brutal, not just for us, but for our cars too. Did you know that nearly 80% of engine wear happens during cold starts? That's right. When your car is cold, the engine is at its most vulnerable. But don't worry. Avoiding some common mistakes can save you from expensive repairs and keep your engine running strong. In this video, we'll uncover 9 cold start mistakes that could wreck your engine if you're not careful. Stick around, because at the end, we'll share a bonus tip to help keep your engine healthy in cold weather. Let's dive right in. Mistake number 1. Starting the engine and immediately revving it. This is one of the most common cold start mistakes. You turn the key, the engine fires up, and you give it a hard rev. Maybe you think it warms up the car faster, but in reality, it does the opposite. When you start your engine, the oil needs time to circulate. It's sitting in the oil pan, and it hasn't reached critical parts like the pistons and camshaft yet. Revving the engine right away puts unnecessary stress on these components while they're still dry. Think of it like running a marathon without stretching first. The metal parts inside your engine are cold and tight. Sudden revs cause rapid expansion, which can lead to micro damage over time. The best thing to do? Start the engine and let it idle for 30 seconds to a minute. This gives the oil time to do its job. Once you see the RPMs settle, you're good to go, but drive gently at first. The second mistake is shutting off the engine before it's fully warmed up. Starting your engine isn't the only critical moment. It's also important how you turn it off. Shutting off your car before it's fully warmed up can create long-term problems. When your engine is cold, the oil is thicker and hasn't reached all the internal components yet. If you turn off the engine too soon, it doesn't give the oil a chance to circulate properly. Over time, this can lead to increased wear on key parts like the crankshaft and bearings. It's mostly harmful in colder weather. During short trips where the engine doesn't fully warm up, condensation can form inside. This moisture mixes with the oil, diluting it and reducing its effectiveness. It can even lead to rust in extreme cases. To avoid this mistake, make sure to give your engine enough time to reach its operating temperature before turning it off. A good rule of thumb? Drive at least 10 to 15 minutes on most trips, mainly in the winter. Mistake number 3 is driving aggressively immediately after starting. It's tempting to drive fast right after starting your car, particularly if you're in a hurry. But this can cause serious damage to your engine. When the engine is cold, the oil hasn't had enough time to circulate. The oil is thick and sluggish. If you drive aggressively, it puts a lot of strain on the engine. Parts like the pistons, valves, and bearings get extra wear from the increased friction. Cold metal parts inside the engine expand as they warm up. If you push the engine too hard, they expand unevenly. This can cause cracks or other damage over time. Driving aggressively also leads to poor engine efficiency. Your car uses more fuel than it needs to. The strain on the engine and the transmission can lead to damage as well. So, just like with the first mistake, ease into your drive. Drive gently for the first few minutes to allow the engine to warm up and avoid unnecessary strain. It'll protect your car and help you save money on repairs in the long run. The fourth mistake is using incorrect oil viscosity. Oil is the lifeblood of your engine. It's what keeps all the moving parts running smoothly. But using the wrong oil viscosity during a cold start can cause serious problems. Viscosity refers to how thick or thin the oil is. In cold temperatures, oil thickens naturally. If you're using oil with a viscosity that's too high for your car, it takes longer to flow through the engine. This delays lubrication, leaving critical parts unprotected. For example, 20W50 oil in freezing weather can feel like molasses trying to move through the engine. On the other hand, oil that's too thin may not provide enough protection under load, especially once the engine heats up. Manufacturers specify the correct oil for your engine based on the climate and operating conditions. You'll usually find this information in your car's owner's manual. During the winter, switching to a lower viscosity oil like 5W30 or 0W20 can make a huge difference. These oils flow faster in cold conditions, protecting your engine during those first crucial moments. To help your engine stay protected, check out the high-quality oils linked in the description. They're perfect for cold starts and keeping your engine in top shape. And while we're on the topic of oil, don't miss our video on costly oil change mistakes that ruin your engine. Click the link above to learn more about common mistakes that could save you time and money. The fifth mistake is letting the car idle for too long. It's cold outside, and you might think letting your car idle for a while is a good idea. After all, you want it to warm up, right? But here's the thing. Idling for too long can actually harm your engine. When your car idles for extended periods, the engine stays cooler than it should. This prevents it from reaching its ideal operating temperature. As a result, fuel doesn't burn completely, leading to carbon buildup. Over time, these deposits clog vital parts like your intake valves and spark plugs. This can hurt your engine's performance and efficiency. Idling also wastes fuel. Your car burns through gas without giving you any real benefit. And if you're driving a diesel engine, the risks are even higher. Diesel engines are designed to operate under higher compression and temperature. Long idling can cause fuel to accumulate on cylinder walls, contaminating the oil and increasing wear on key components. The damage doesn't stop there. For both gas and diesel engines, idling can contaminate your oil. When extra fuel mixes with the oil, it loses its ability to protect critical parts. This leads to increased engine wear and reduces its lifespan. What's the solution? Start your engine, let it run for 30 seconds to a minute, and then drive gently. For diesel engines, consider installing a block heater. We'll talk about that in a few. Do you let your car idle on cold mornings, or do you have tips to avoid it? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Either way, if you find the video useful and you want to see more, please like and subscribe. Mistake number 6. Forgetting to check coolant levels. Coolant is one of the most important fluids in your car. It keeps your engine running at the right temperature. But if your coolant levels are too low, big problems can happen. On cold mornings, your engine starts out cold. Coolant helps regulate the temperature as the engine heats up. Without enough coolant, the engine can overheat quickly. This puts extra stress on parts like the cylinder head, gaskets, and radiator. Over time, this stress can lead to warping or even cracks. Low coolant levels also reduce the efficiency of your engine. An overheated engine works harder and uses more fuel. Worse, it can cause long-term damage that's expensive to repair. Checking your coolant is easy, but often ignored. Before starting your car, take a quick look at the coolant reservoir. Make sure the level is between the min and max marks. If it's low, top it off with the right type of coolant for your car. Be extra cautious during extreme weather or before long drives. Regular checks can save you from costly repairs and keep your engine running strong. Mistake number 7 is leaving accessories on. We've all left something on before starting the car. Maybe it's the radio, lights, air conditioning, or even seat heaters. But leaving these accessories on during a cold start can drain power from your engine. When you start the car, the engine works hard to get everything running. If accessories are left on, they use up energy, which puts extra strain on the alternator and battery. This is especially true when the engine is cold and needs all its power to start smoothly. For example, air conditioning. Heated seats, fog lights, or even dash cams use extra energy. If these are on, your engine has to work harder. This can slow down the warm-up process and waste fuel. To avoid this mistake, turn off accessories before starting the car. Only use what's needed to help the engine warm up, like the defroster. By turning off the extras, you let the engine focus on what matters most, getting warmed up quickly and running efficiently. The 8th mistake is ignoring battery health. Your car's battery is crucial for starting the engine. When the temperature drops, the battery has to work even harder. If it's weak, it might struggle to turn over the engine, making cold starts harder on your car. Batteries naturally lose charge and power. Corrosion on the battery terminals can make the problem worse. It reduces the battery's ability to deliver the power needed for a smooth start. If you're not checking it, you might not notice it's getting weaker until it's too late. Taking care of your battery can save you from being stuck with a car that won't start. As we mentioned earlier, leaving accessories on also drains the battery, leaving it with little or no power to start the engine. This can lead to a battery that's completely drained, unable to deliver enough power to fire up the engine. To keep your battery healthy, check it regularly. Make sure the terminals are clean and free from corrosion. The second last mistake is not using a block heater. As I said, for those with diesel engines especially, having a block heater can make all the difference. If you live in an area with harsh winters, a block heater can be a lifesaver for your engine. It warms up the engine coolant before starting the car, which makes it easier to start the engine and reduces strain on cold parts. Without a block heater, the engine has to work harder to start. In cold weather, the oil becomes thick, and it takes longer for it to flow through the engine. This puts extra strain on the battery, starter, and other parts of the engine. As a result, the engine takes longer to warm up and uses more power to start. A block heater can help prevent all of this. Simply plug it in a few hours before starting the car, and it will help the engine start smoothly, even in extreme cold. This small step can save you from a lot of wear and tear on your engine. If you haven't been using one, it's an easy fix. Block heaters are simple to install and can save you a lot of money on repairs in the long run. Check the description for our top recommendation. The last mistake to avoid is skipping regular maintenance. Your engine needs regular checks to keep running smoothly. This is important for cold starts. Many drivers ignore essential maintenance tasks like oil changes, air filter replacements, and spark plug inspections. These are all vital for your engine's health. When your car isn't properly maintained, this puts extra strain on the engine and causes more wear and tear. Regular maintenance also helps prevent problems before they start. Old oil can become thick and less effective, making it harder for your engine to turn over in cold weather. A dirty air filter can reduce airflow, leading to poor engine performance. Worn-out spark plugs can make starting your car more difficult. Oil changes are usually needed every 3,000 to 7,500 miles. Air filters should be replaced every 12,000 to 15,000 miles. Spark plugs last between 30,000 to 100,000 miles, depending on the type. Skipping maintenance can lead to big problems when starting your car in the cold. Regular upkeep helps your engine start better and last longer. Want to outsmart your mechanic? Check out our latest video on 13 car maintenance tips mechanics don't want you to know. Keep your fuel tank at least half full, mainly in cold weather. When your tank is low, moisture can build up in the fuel system. This moisture can mix with the fuel and cause rust. It can also clog parts like the fuel pump and injectors, in colder temperatures, blocking the fuel flow. This makes it even harder to start your car. Keeping your tank half full helps prevent moisture buildup. It also keeps your fuel system working well. But there's another benefit to keeping your tank full. If you get stuck in the cold, whether due to weather or a breakdown, having enough fuel allows you to run the heater or stay warm until help arrives. It's a small step, but it can save you from both engine problems and being stranded. Avoid these cold start mistakes that wreck your engine to keep your car in top shape. Remember to like, subscribe, and click the link below to watch our next video on horrible driving habits that ruin your engine and wallet.